Hey, thanks for joining us today. I'm Sam Sellers with Home Care Frontrunners. Now, who is this webinar for? Well, quite simply, it's for home care owners who share our passion for service and who want to take their home care business to the next level. Even more specifically, it's for those owners who want to position themselves and their agency in a league of its own. It's for those owners who want to differentiate their agency in a uniquely positive light when compared to the 24 or more competitors you're facing. In this webinar, I'll show you how to not only position yourself as the expert and your agency as the home care agency of choice, but how that will result in more home care clients. In this short webinar, I'm going to pull back the curtain to show you how most home care agency owners all but scream, "We're all the same," and how that is hurting your business and minimizing the referrals you receive. Do you ever get frustrated that, quote, referral sources who say they're always referring to your agency really mean they're giving potential clients, and that's families in need of home care support, a flyer that includes your agency alongside dozens of your competitors? We're going to talk about the specifics of beating this referral game. Do you get upset when a potential new client has been given not only your brochure, but a stack of brochures from all of your competitors? Well, it doesn't have to be that way. Would you be interested to learn how you can cut your marketing budget? Well, just one quick example. Consider that if each marketing brochure costs you between 25 and 50 cents, and referral sources give out 20 brochures before you get one paying client, if you only look at the cost of the brochures, and certainly there are other costs involved, but if you only look at the cost of brochures, each client represents $10 in brochure costs. Well, what if we could cut that in half? Well, I'll show you how. We're going to explore strategies that experts use to position themselves as experts. Over the next few minutes, my promise to you is that I'll show you the step-by-step approach to positively differentiate yourself and your agency from all your competitors. Do you feel like your agency is lost in the pack of 2, 3, or even 4 dozen competitors? Are you stumped with how to differentiate your agency from your competitors? Are you frustrated that referral sources count a good referral as including your agency in a list that includes 3 dozen of your competitors, or in a stack of brochures with those same competitors? Is your experience and expertise in the aging arena even recognized and respected by your peers or potential referral sources? Do you spend countless marketing dollars on activities that don't and have never produced the results you want? Are you continually trying to set your agency apart as the go-to agency, but are often lost in the crowd of your competitors? Are you spending marketing dollars and not getting the results you need? Well, the real problem is that you don't have a strategy to position you and your agency as the home care experts. Your agency is not differentiated from your competition, so you're stuck in the pack. And because of that, you're struggling to get qualified referrals. Well, what if you were seen as the home care expert? What if your agency was seen as uniquely and significantly better than all of your competition? You would have referral sources seeking you out. Potential clients would be calling your agency because they want the best care possible for their loved one, and you've demonstrated that you are the best. You would be sought after as a speaker at key events and before organizations who previously wouldn't even talk to you. You'd see increased revenue and more freedom to do some of those things you love, but you just simply don't have the opportunity to pursue because you spend too much time doing things that'll never get you there. Well, you really can stand out as the go-to home care agency, and we'll show you exactly how. Experts have books, and you're about to learn how, without writing a single word of copy, you can get your book that uniquely positions you as the expert and your agency as the agency of choice in your area. A tremendously popular book has already been written, and you have access to it. Families seeking home care for a loved one are ecstatic to receive it because it answers the questions they have. Referral sources love it because it makes their jobs easier and more rewarding, and, by the way, positions them as a trusted resource, making them even more appreciative of your book. But this just isn't a book on home care. It's your book on home care. Your name's on the cover, your title, your bio, and perhaps most importantly, your contact information is included, and it's branded to reflect your agency. With your own book, you'll have gained immediate credibility and have the necessary tools and strategies to set your agency in a league of its own. You'll see more clients, and referral sources will actively seek you out for your experience and expertise. Years ago, I did all the things that my competitors were doing. I put brochures everywhere, just as they did. I paid for in-services at medical clinics and any other place that could gather a few people to listen to my pitch, just as my competition did. I went to every health fair and gave away a lot of trinkets and candy, just as my competitors did. And I was pretty good at it and always held my own, but I could never break out of the pack. In short, I was all but shouting that my agency was no different than any other agency, and I was surprised that I wasn't seen any differently. Then I wrote a book on home care. Now, it was initially designed simply to answer all the questions we all get asked all the time, so it covered a lot of ground. What I quickly found out was that potential clients loved it. Quick story. I was meeting with a family who didn't bother even hiding that they had the brochures and packets from all my competitors. In fact, I was told that they were interviewing every agency in town. As we were wrapping up our meeting, I could tell that I was going to continue to remain in the middle of the heap of packets and brochures with all my competitors. That's when I handed a copy of my book. I pointed out a particular chapter that I felt would be of interest to them as they made their final decision. What I heard then was, priceless. First, she told me how much she appreciated the book and that she wished she had it weeks ago when they started their search. Then she closed the book and saw my name on the cover. She looked up at me and said, and I quote, "The decision's made. We're going with your agency. I mean, you wrote the book on home care." That's when my agency took off. My expertise is helping home care agency owners like yourself get noticed and be seen as the go-to expert in your area, and getting you a steady stream of new clients who specifically want your agency serving their loved ones. Back then, I needed and wanted to have a top-producing home care agency. But like I say, I was unintentionally telling everyone that my agency was no different than any other agency. Now, my agency is consistently top-producing and award-winning. My competition looks to us as the powerhouse. Recently, I attended an Alzheimer's Association awards dinner. I sat by the owner of a top durable medical equipment supply company who told me that he wasn't sure why, but that my agency had the other agencies worried. When I pressed him for more information, he told me that the owner of one of the largest agencies in my state was troubled about our success. Only a few years ago, they didn't even know my agency existed. Like I say, I tried everything that my competitors were doing. Now, don't get me wrong. There are still marketing and sales strategies that have to be executed well. But having your own book will positively differentiate you from your competition in the best way possible. Used as the centerpiece of your marketing efforts, sales become easy. Now, the first problem is that home care owners all do basically the same things. I've talked to hundreds of home care owners, and almost without exception, their marketing looks very similar. A brochure is necessary, but having looked at and compared dozens, I've come to the conclusion that they are all basically the same. Home care owners say the same things and oftentimes have no distinct or positive differentiators. The solution is to be seen as the expert and to position your agency as the agency of choice. And the best way I've found to do that is with your own book. Now, the second problem grows from the first. If home care owners are all doing the same things and referral sources simply hand out your brochure along with those from all your competitors, getting solid, qualified referrals can be a crapshoot. Even worse, if a quote referral is made by handing someone a printout with your agency listed alongside your 36 competitors, nobody stands out. Again, the solution is to force your agency to be seen differently. The solution is to provide that referral source with a supply of your books that, in addition to handing out the printout or a handful of brochures to a family in need of home care assistance, they also hand out a copy of your book. This will very definitely position you as the expert and your agency as the agency of choice. Now, once you have your book in hand, which, by the way, can be within just a matter of weeks, there are a few key steps to use it as a powerful tool to position your agency as the agency of choice. First, and this is prior to even receiving your books, you should craft an announcement. We'll walk you through this process, but the point is to make an initial big splash that ripples through your entire network. Now, also at this stage, you'll want to make a prioritized list of referral sources who should have your book. These people will include everyone who has made solid referrals, and that could be case managers, nurses, social workers, etc. But also include some people you might not think of, financial advisors and bank trust officers. They love it. Key individuals at associations and other organizations that provide information and referrals to your target market, the Alzheimer's Association, for example, pharmacists, etc. And then research who writes or reports on aging issues in the newspaper, your local magazines, radio, and television. Put together a news release that announces this incredible resource for people exploring care options for a loved one. Secondly, once you have your books in hand, send out your media release along with a copy of your book. Call and schedule media interviews, remembering that the goal at this point is to position yourself as the expert on home care. Almost by default, your agency will be seen as the go-to agency of choice. And thirdly, hand deliver a single copy to every person you previously included on your list of targets. Give them a few days to digest the value it carries for people exploring home care, and then go back to hear their responses. You'll be amazed. Explain that because of your passion for serving older adults, you've budgeted for her to give out copies of your book at no cost so that the families will have the resources available to make the best decisions regarding home care. A key here is that you are willing to pay for the books they give out because you know the book is a resource that families need. And then fourth, approach associations, civic organizations, places of worship, etc. Offer a copy of your book to whoever the key staff members are, whoever schedules speakers, and explain that you're available to speak to their group on a particular aging issue. What I found was that I was invited to speak in front of a number of civic organizations, the Case Managers Society of America, the Gerontological Association, a host of churches, and I've served as an expert on many panels discussing aging issues. Believe me, you are the expert. The book simply demonstrates that to others. Now, I've already shared my experience with the woman who, while in the process of interviewing every home care agency in town, told me her decision was made because I wrote the book on home care. And like I say, this story has been repeated over and over again. Even better, I was getting referral sources calling me to get copies of my book because families wanted it. I was at a large local hospital to see a patient who was being discharged in a few days. And while there, I met a new case manager. She had just started work after earning her Master's in Social Work, or MSW. And by the way, I had previously spoken to the MSW students at this university about client assessments because of my book. Anyway, when I offered her a copy of my book, she opened her new desk drawer and pulled out a worn copy of it. She told me that when she started work, her supervisor gave her my book and told her it should be her guide when working with families seeking home care for a loved one. I suggested she give it to people, patients there, who are exploring care options. She said that would be great, but that she was new, and she'd have to ask her supervisor if she could purchase a supply to have on hand. So, well, I laughed, and I told her that I had bought them and would be happy if she gave them away at my cost to those patients discharging home, but in need of continued care and support. Well, you can imagine how I immediately positioned myself as the expert and my agency as being in a league of its own. And you can do the same. So what would your agency look like if you had referral sources calling you for your expertise and families actively seeking your agency out because they see you as the expert and your agency as the agency of choice? What would it feel like if your agency was positively differentiated and seen as the go-to agency for families seeking the best of the best home care provider? And what's it costing you to continue shouting that your agency is the same as all your competitors? How do you feel or react when an agency you know is less capable than yours gets that new client that you should have gotten? Well, you can continue doing what you're doing. I mean, what's the harm? All of your competitors are doing those same things too, right? Or you can take the steps necessary to positively differentiate you as the expert and your agency as being in a league of its own. I've set aside some time over the next 2 weeks to speak with you for an hour or so about how having your own book can positively differentiate your agency and position you as the expert. We've made this process easy for you because we're committed to and passionate about empowering older adults to remain in their homes. But because we only choose to work with those agency owners who share our passion and provide the very highest level of service, we want to talk with you to see if this is the best fit for both of us. Just as I've been able to become more selective in the home care clients we accept, and that's a good thing to have, right? Well, we're equally selective in the owners we choose to work with. We know that we can positively differentiate agencies we work with, and we know that they will have both referral sources and families seeking them out. So we're especially cautious and only working with the best of the best. Now, if you're that agency owner who shares our passion and who wants to positively differentiate yourself from your competition and earn more referrals and more clients, simply click the link and let's schedule a time to talk. Hey, thanks for spending this time with me today. I've enjoyed it, and I look forward to talking to you.